They say the only certain things in life are death and taxes. But they forgot one thing. Bullies. To say I have never been very high up on any social ladder at any point in my life would be a gross understatement. And I think one of the things that draws a lot of people to Phantom is the way that we can empathize with Eric and his struggle to find acceptance. But of course, in a cruel twist of irony, my love for a story that I could empathize with was also one of my biggest sources of my personal bullying experience. I get why people took shots at me. I really do. I was loud and obnoxious about it. But I was also happy. I like to think I was pretty resilient about it all because I can't say much of it truly got to me. I'm just really wary about who I trust now. But what I think is funny is that the school that I went to most of my life is very well known for having a bullying problem. But from my personal experience, they really weren't even good at it. Now, I know I am not alone in getting bullied over a Phantom obsession. So today, just to lighten the mood, how about I tell you some of the absolute dumbest ways that I was bullied over it. The first starts in my freshman drama class. Actually, like, all of these stories came from drama. It was not a safe space for me in school like it's supposed to be. In fact, it was kind of hell. I stuck it out until junior year and then dipped for performing arts school. So, there's this girl, who was what I guess you'd call on the popular side, but we didn't really use those terms, so whatever. But she did pageants and money falling out of her ass. Honestly, like the real life Regina George. Everything was a backhanded compliment, and then she'd go and talk shit about you later. Tale as old as time. So one day after class, she takes it upon herself to come up to me and start talking about her cousin, who allegedly was also really obsessed with Phantom. And I was just trying to be polite, I guess, because I was just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But then she goes on to be like, yeah, I mean, he's an even bigger fan than you. He knows everything about it. His whole room is Phantom. He even has custom Phantom wallpaper. Now at this point, I can smell the bullshit a mile away. Like, alright, sure, Jan. But what made it so weird was that, even if it were true, I guess she thought that I was going to, like, lose my shit and, like, get really defensive. Like, no, I'm the bigger fan! Which, to her dismay, I didn't. I was just trying to figure out why this was the tactic she picked. Instead of the overreaction that she clearly expected, I was just like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Sounds like we could be friends. And just left. Next story. Again, drama. This girl that was in my class was just an absolutely insufferable little troglodyte. She could walk into the room and without knowing a thing about her, you could tell that she thought her didn't stink. I can't even remember her name now, but I'll never forget the time she actually tried to gaslight me into believing that in the novel, Eric ropes? And I don't mean the Punjab lasso. I mean non-consensual bedroom activities. But ropes Christine. And of course, this didn't work. She picked the wrong girl to try this on.
Not today!
I knew damn well that that didn't happen, and at the time, I didn't realize that she was trying to bully me. So I sat there just looking at her like she was genuinely fucking stupid. Like, what in the smooth brain, one neuron hell made you concoct that theory? And when I challenged her on it by saying, no, I've read the original novel like 5 times. At no point does that happen. She doubles down and goes on to try to justify it. More gaslighting attempts. She says, well, my mom did a paper on it in college, and it even says so in the Phantom Spark notes. Now, I was too nice to actually say this back then, but maybe I'm a bitch now because I have no problems anymore. I remember thinking, first of all, no, the fuck she didn't. You know, what's next? You're gonna tell me that you have a boyfriend, but oh, he goes to a different school. And second, even if she did do a paper on it, why was your mom using goddamn Spark notes? Was she too stupid to understand the story, or was she just too lazy to read the book? Either way, it was a stupid-ass argument that ended in me just thinking she was an idiot. Now, this next one, this actually did get to me a little, but not because of the Phantom part. We were doing improv exercises in drama, surprise, surprise, where everyone had to write a prompt on a piece of paper, and then we draw them at random out of a hat and have to act them out in teams of 2. Well, someone thought it would be funny to make a prompt that said, Emily just found out Phantom is closing on Broadway. Ironic, but nevertheless. So 2 of my classmates get up and their scene is set at a breakfast table. And one of them is playing me and the other is playing my mom. The girl playing my mom was reading a newspaper and she tries to tell the me character that the show is closing, but I keep interrupting her, with my ranting and obsessing. Now, so far, I'm being a good sport. I'm laughing. I'm self-aware enough. Not to mention, taking the time to think up an improv prompt involving me. Sounds like fan behavior, but whatever. Well, the mom character finally gets it out and is like, Emily, it's closing! Phantom is closing! Here's where they went too far. My character starts absolutely losing her shit, of course, and then my classmate falls down on the ground and starts pretending to have a fucking seizure. If you've followed the channel for a while, you know that I have epilepsy. So yes, this girl was actually sitting there making fun of my goddamn seizure disorder. And I had only been diagnosed the year before at this point, so I was still pretty sensitive about it. I wasn't ready for roasts like I am now. And just for the record, no, I did not have a seizure when Phantom closed. So yeah, that was pretty fucked up. Never got in trouble or anything for it either. And that is because my drama teacher was an absolute douche canoe. The Douche Master 5000. You know the song Nothing from a chorus line? Yeah, he was Mr. Carp. Yet, somehow an even shittier teacher. He picked on me about everything, not just Phantom. The way I dressed, the way I did my makeup, my acting, my singing, anything he could think of. He once even made me tell the whole class how much I weighed. I had an eating disorder at the time. Real stand-up guy. Which brings me to my next story. So we're at a rehearsal for whatever show it was at the time, and it's the day of costume fittings. I'm chilling, waiting for my turn, pop in the headphones and start humming some Sarah Brightman. This obviously annoys him. So, does he tap me on the shoulder and nicely tell me to stop? Like a normal person? Nope. He screams at me across the whole auditorium, in front of the entire cast and crew, Emily, you are not Christine, nor do you have her voice. I was 14 years old. This was probably the only time anyone had ever actually gotten to me. Normally the things that people did were really easy to shrug off or were so fucking stupid that, it backfired. Like, sure, it was irritating, but I wasn't going home, crying about it or anything. This, however, the fact that this adult man, who was a teacher, meant to be a support system, and to, fucking teach, knew how important Phantom and the role of Christine were to me, and chose to pull that out of his ass to humiliate me for no reason. Yeah, I bolted to the bathroom and bawled my eyes out. It fucking destroyed me, and still likes to ring in the back of my mind in my most unconfident moments. To this day, I still do not know why this man hated me so much. But not important, I guess. But don't worry, the story has a happy ending. Let me paint for you the sequence of events. About a month later, I won first place in a prose and monologue competition using a passage from Susan Kay's Phantom. And he had to watch me go up and accept the award. A few months after that, I was accepted into the Tulsa Opera Chorus and got to perform in 4 professional operas before I had even graduated high school. Age 16, I was invited to perform the title song from Phantom and other Broadway selections alongside a previous Broadway Phantom at a concert at the Oklahoma Jazz Hall of Fame. My brain keeps telling me that it was Scott Davies, but I know that's not it, and it's driving me nuts. Senior year, I was asked by the head of the music department of our city's new performing arts school to transfer in and help get the program started because I was an experienced professional and a leader that could help the other kids understand what performing in a professional setting was like. The intended school musical was Phantom, and I had been pre-cast as Christine. But we're not done. Shortly after graduating, I received scholarships for both music and acting to Oklahoma City University. Like, where Kristen Chenoweth went. According to my parents, the music and drama departments were apparently in a bidding war over me that led to almost a full ride. And now I have been approached for another major Phantom-y, Christine-y project, but I'm not really supposed to talk about yet. Plus, there's all the hundreds of wonderful people whose opinions I actually value telling me how much they would love to see me play Christine. You guys are amazing. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Carp. What was that you were saying? The moral of the story here is haters gonna hate. Plain and simple. But they're dumbasses, and their opinions do not matter. It sounds dumb, I know. But seriously, the best thing you can do is just keep doing what you love and be who you are. Bullies hate people who love themselves and don't let themselves be bothered by their BS. It's gonna suck ass along the way. Not gonna sugarcoat it for you. But you will reach the end of the tunnel, and you will be proud of yourself for it in the end. And then, I say f*** being the bigger person. You be as petty as you want and smear that shit right in their faces. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Stay fantastic with a PH. And keep your hand at the level of your eyes. 6 months later, I'd heard the carp had died. And I dug right down to the bottom of my soul and cried, 'cause I felt nothing.